cockpit. Mine acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another stream. We are now live, and we've got Cody, Paul, and Yorkie with us in channel here. So I hope you're going to enjoy the flight with us. We're going to fly from Houston all the way to Corpus Christi, which is, I think, about a 40-minute flight. It's a nice and short one for Southwest Virtual. Right, guys, you are now live on stream with me, so anything you say will be held against you in a court of law. It's a joke. Hello.
I didn't want to laugh out loud down on live.
You're welcome.
I mean,
Hey, Vertical.
oh, hey, what's up, Vertical?
Yay, the boss. Guys, if you don't know, this is Vertical. Let's just say it hi. This is one of his airports where he co-worked on, and then Corpus Christi is all his. So thank you for joining us. Interesting to have you here, and you are very welcome. Now fall over my tongue like that. How are you doing, Vertical? Paul, don't be shy, man. Just because we're being broadcast, if we do stuff up the broadcast, I just delete it afterwards. So if there's anything embarrassing, don't worry. We're not going to keep it.
Okay, you've asked for it.
Yeah. Oops. Oops.
I'll try and be
Yes.
sensible.
Yeah.
Is that possible for you, Paul? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding.
if I squeeze my right hand really hard, I can just keep it within tolerable limits.
Okay, Cody, I've got a question for you now. I'm in Love Cars. I'm looking for the flight number that I have on my browser, and I'm trying to find it here under the flight so I can initiate the flight. I don't get the same flight numbers here. I've got 3 different flights completely. So what's up? Why does that happen? Oh, let's go to booked legs. Oh, that's my problem. Sorry, got it. Here we go. Love Cars is live. Sorry, Vertical. I just got into the College of Engineering yesterday. Well, congratulations. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Right, let's get going on my side.
I'm going to risk being embarrassed live across the world by asking a potentially silly question.
No
And it's a
such
question
thing.
I asked John earlier on. I asked John whether there are any stages that are omitted if you start with engines running that you can't later correct, because you guys always start up from cold and dark.
Okay, just run it by me. I'm not sure I follow you. Just run it slowly by me again.
Okay, so if you start explained with engines running,
Yeah.
you can still do most of the FMC stuff, but I think not the GPS position. But apart from that, are you getting yourself into trouble by starting with engines running?
No, you don't. But you can reset the IRS just by switching it off and switching it back on and letting it run again. There's no point in doing it because it's effectively done it already, instantly. But you can actually switch it off. For that matter, if you switch your APU on, you can actually kill the engines and then restart as usual again. So it's flexible. It's really flexible. The other way of doing it is just restarting the flight, removing the ticks from the tick from the box that says start with engines running, and you go back to that. But there's no harm in starting with engines running. The issue for us comes in that the VAs don't like it. When you fly for a virtual airline, they want you to start from cold and dark.
Yes, I'd expect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the plane will behave perfectly adequately, and you can
Perfect.
program the FMC perfectly well.
Perfect. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the startup process, I mean, Uncle John flew it for months that way until he wanted to join the VA, and then he had to learn how to do the cold and dark thing. So no, there's no difference.
Thank you for that.
No worries. Pleasure. And I
That'll be
bet.
$4.95.
Yeah. Please go to yes. Please, sorry. Thank you for reminding me. I bet. There's always these lurkers in the background. I bet you've just answered 10 other people's question, by asking your
Yep.
question.
I'm getting used to being embarrassed. It's not a bad thing if you can swallow your pride a little bit, I suppose.
You know what I've learned while doing these live broadcasts is you can't really get embarrassed. If you allow yourself to feel embarrassed, you shouldn't be here. Because I've done some pretty stupid things live. And one or two guys have knocked me because of one or two things. But at the end of the day, I must be honest with you, this has made me a better person to handle that situation much better. I don't feel as embarrassed as I was in the beginning. And in fact, I hardly ever feel embarrassed. Now and then I get maybe I shouldn't, have overreacted or something stupid like that. But this whole process of actually live broadcasting has taught me a lot, changed me a lot.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. In real world, I am still a bit of a shy person, believe it or not. If you met me in person and it's one-to-one, it's easier. I don't have a problem with that. But when I walk into like a flying club, like what we have here by the Air Force Base close by, it takes me a good 10, 15 minutes to just relax, take a deep breath, and then start mingling. It's just not in my nature to just walk in and take over and just be, me. I find that still just a little bit difficult. Almost messed it up now. I'm trying, I changed the sequence that I do things in, and one of the things is to do the tests before I do the FMC. And I'm really having to concentrate to remember that. Because for so long I didn't do it this way.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. crossing, climb. Climb, crossing, climb. 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 Clear.
Craig from Liverpool didn't show up today. I think John said he might have made the journey over, but
Yeah.
he said he hadn't heard from him from a couple of weeks.
Me too. Strangely enough, I haven't heard from him in a while.
Increase climb.
Yeah.
Increase climb. Increase descent.
KCRP.
Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain. Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
Southwest 47. Let's put this lovely PDF on screen so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Just remind me if I forget it on screen, because it's on my left hand side on the left screen, so I don't always look that side. It's in my peripheral view, but I mean I concentrate so hard that I do sometimes miss it. Right, departure. According to the plan 22, that one, and 22, execute. Oh, that's a good question. Let's quickly do this. Let's build this thing together. Because I think the right answer would be CRP, because we're flying to CRP, but where is this display capture now? Let's go see if we've got a flight set up for this already. Sort by date, sort by name. Here we go. Okay. There we go. There is a flight for it already, so let's just check. Let's have a look, see.
My God, man.
What?
Clear your history.
Man!
Holy crap.
Man, I fly a lot.
Jesus.
So bad.
Well, has Ryanair purchased your company routes yet, or what?
Almost been negotiating, and now this is Southwest as well. They're being against each other, so I want to see where it goes to.
They're in a bidding war for your information.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Exactly. So there is no arrivals. Let's have a quick look. See. Show this chart. It's definitely CRP. Okay, so right, that settles that. Okay, now I'm going to ask a silly question at the risk of sounding silly. Is there an easy way to clear your history? Yes, I think so. In the flight list, let's go. Oh yeah, you can just click all the boxes and then you delete them. Okay, I'll do that later. Yeah, we can clean it up later. Right.
Actually, I just thought you kept them, like company routes. I was just giving you crap, dude.
I know. It is my company routes. I only save the actual VA routes, really. It does help to, like in this instance, to just quickly cross-reference instead of rebuilding. Sorry, no,
Right.
I left the room. It does help, but it's not be-all and end-all. It's just one of those things.
Sure.
Hey, George. Right, display capture is off. Let's go back to... No, before we do that, sorry. Before we do that, let's have a look.
Hello.
Hey, George.
How's it? How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. How are you doing?
Fine, you got my message.
Negative. Where did you send the message?
Sent you long one quite a while back on what?
Today. As in today or a week ago?
On time now, hang on.
Okay, I made a mistake here somewhere. We need to figure this one out.
1927.
No, no, no. My phone's on charge. Let me have a look. See.
I know he's just had a birthday, but he's not that old. Uncle John would remember 1927, but not Nico.
Thank you, George. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I was spoiled. I got nice rib meal for dinner, and ribs is one of my favorites. So it worked for me. Spent quality time with the family and all, so all good, all good. I just have a big stuff up in Dixie here when we look at this flight plan, so I need to quickly figure out what on earth I'm gonna do about this. There's the problem. PSX is the problem.
No wonder I couldn't understand what I was seeing. It was in 480.
Okay, there's still the problems. Alright, no, well, let's quickly get rid of all of this crap. Let's go there. Delete, clear. Hold on. Root. So how do you delete it if you don't do that? Not in database. What do you mean? Clear. Legs. Delete. Delete. Delete that vector. Oh, execute. I'm busy breaking this thing. Let's start again. Let's just clear it. While we are doing that, let the guys start boarding. Why not?
Yeah, the only way to fix it is to first break it.
Yeah. Okay. Houston. KCRP. Alright. Okay. Houston.
Houston, we have a problem.
I wanted to say that, and I thought, don't worry, but
Too easy. That joke's too easy.
but it works. It works. It works. Alright, so let's do this again and then go check it before we get fancy. So on the departure, we are looking for that one. Going to CRP off runway 22. Execute. Let's go to the legs page. Let's go have a look. See. Why? What does it look like that? Right. Okay, let's go get even more clever. Ha! Ha! Not just pretty. Not just a pretty face.
What's going on?
I removed the vector. Because that vector line is the one that confused the hell out of me. So this is better. I'm still going to do a vector departure because that's one hell of a steep turn that I don't think that aircraft's going to like doing that turn. Or what I could do instead, I could leave it, but I could just do a little bit more manual takeoff, and put the autopilot on a little bit later. Right, then we've got PSX. Then we've got all that nonsense again. CRP, PSX again. And we want to go there. Then we want to get rid of PSX and COPAN. Definitely.
Can I ask whether you imported this flight plan from SimBrief or somewhere else?
No, from PFPX. There's PSX. Where's PSX on this? There's PSX, then it is Yo Mom, and then CRP. Alright, so PSX and COPAN needs to go. They need to disappear into thin air. Let's do it from the back side. And there we go, and execute. There we go. So now it looks like the chart. Let me actually show you the chart, then you'll see what I'm seeing. I wish I could actually project the chart like I do the Adobe PDFs, but I can't because the way Navigraph wrote this makes use of hardware acceleration, and the Streamlabs OBS cannot project anything that's got hardware acceleration enabled. So it's kind of ridiculous, but anyway, where is this display capture? See, so we're going to take off right there where my hand is. That's where we're going to leave the runway. Then we're going to have to make that 90-degree turn to get to...
Not displayed.
Ah?
Okay, displayed now. Okay, now go ahead and talk.
Yeah, okay. Remember, you guys on Discord are like 10-12 seconds behind the stream. So just remember that. But anyway, okay. So we're going to leave the runway there, and then we're going to have to make the 90-degree turn to go to the entry point of that SID. Then we're going to that one, there's PSX, Yo Mom, that's a funny name, but anyway, and then CRP. Alright, so if we look at the actual FMC now, let's go back a little bit. Don't know if it's going to have much value if we zoom in too far, so let's go step by step. So there's Salat or Salt, however you want to produce it, SAALT, that's it. Then PTRON, which is fine. And then we're going to step through. So it's going to look, there's Scuba, PSX, Yomom, and CRP. So that's exactly as per the chart. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's exactly what we want. So now we need to go and look at the arrival. There is no arrival, but according to the planning, we are landing on a runway 13. So we're going to do ILS 13, and we're going to use CRP for the transition. Execute. Alright, so then if you go back to the legs page, we can now work through them. So we're going to go over the center line and turn back, turn right, and then go and land. That's the way I read it, right? Yeah. Cross over, then come back, and then land. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so it made us think a little bit. That wasn't just for the taking. I mean, that was serious thought that I had to go in there. Now I'm wondering if we go to the next one, the Scuba. I think maybe I'm going to make a direct to Scuba. It's a much better entry point. So what I'm going to do is let's pick up Scuba and chuck it in there. Right, that's an even better idea, because now we just go, we basically take off and fly direct to Scuba. We don't have to do that silly twist and turn there. There's no ATC. I mean, they would have given us some form of vector anyway to get to that entry point, or they would have given us a direct to. If I were ATC there, I would in fact clear the guy direct to PSX and skip all these little points and just go to the closest VOR, which was Papa Sierra X-ray. That's how I would have done it if I was the ATC. So anyway, takes care of that. Let's continue. We're going to run on a cost index of 40. Apparently that is a good value for Southwest, so we'll do that. Our reserves, let's get me on the same page that you are. 1.7. Zero fuel weights and 1.6. The plan, we're going to fly flight level 240. How's the family, George?
Doing well, doing well. We had a good day. We had a good family day.
Ah, excellent. I'm going to climb rather fast. It's a short flight. I don't want to miss the altitude, so I'm gonna make a plan and get there as fast as I can. We're going to use flaps 5. There we go. This time I remember to remove the Adobe. That's 50. Let's start the APU. To 1 and 24. Right. That's all done. All taken care of. And let's get the APU going. Wrong way, sir. Wrong way. Ground services disconnect. And right, we've got our duct pressure. Excellent. Alright, let's call better push back. No point in sitting around here all day.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Drive away all. Let's have a look, see that everything gets done appropriately. Are you guys ready? Can we fly?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Are you flying a Southwest flight?
Yes.
So have you been on the ground for 20 minutes?
This one doesn't care.
Okay, all
Okay.
doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Oh, I've just realised what Uncle John's going to do next. He's going to start chasing you in other virtual airlines.
You can try. You can try. Come on, man.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Aircraft check and all call, thank you.
You know, when he gets to his target of 39,000, whatever it is, points, he'll be looking for a new challenge.
Probably. I mean, this is like a drug, you know. When this thing bites you, it bites hard, you know.
Yep.
Starting to stack, and you may start engines.
Alright, so here we go. Vertical, I'm not sure if you're still on screen with us, but and I don't know which portion of this airport you were responsible for, but this is really high quality freeway, right? This is awesome. Cool, excellent. I love
I'll be right
flying.
back.
Sorry?
I said apologize, but I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. I love flying southwest between these little airports of yours, Vertical. I mean, I've told you this before, it just works for me, man. Sometimes I just want to fly and I don't want to spend the whole day, you know, in the air sitting, talking or doing nothing, you know, and these short hops really do it for me. Well, I can see your handiwork. By the way, did you see FSDG, the FSDG group, released Cape Town International for X-Plane? It's kind of neat. That's really high quality stuff. It's not the other stuff I showed you. I was talking, I didn't hear this guy actually tell me to set the parking brake, so I'm gonna set it and hope he's ready for me. There we go. Yeah, I missed him. Right, so we had one controller disconnect already this evening. We don't want to have that again, so we might as well actually test this. There you go, all the controllers are done. Yeah, I used to fly Pilot Edge Vertical, and hopefully one day I can go back there, but the time difference didn't work for me. It was a killer between South Africa and the times they were up and on at that point in time.
Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
But I'm not hell bent on it, to be quite honest. I'm quite happy just doing what I'm doing. I've got Iveo and I've got Vatsum, so that's good enough for me at this point in time. Some of the other guys here actually fly Pilot Edge. Alright, so let's actually set the altimeter. That's one thing I really didn't do. What are we looking at? 2998. 2998. Here we go. Where's your pin? Thank you, uncle. Let's get our taxi story sorted and the flaps. There we go. Yeah, there's variety is the spice of life. You've got to entertain variety at some point in time. And now I need my chart on here, otherwise I'm gonna literally not know where the hell I'm taxiing. Let's just stop the aircraft and get that on screen here. Alright, so we need to now drive all around this airport and go to the, well, not the airport, sorry, the terminal, and get to the other side. So we're going to do a couple of left turns. Right, so right there at the end we've got runway 22, so
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
thank you. I hope you have one too. Well, one thing is for sure, I'm getting better with this tiller. Now I just need to get really better with this landing portion with the rudders, because I think earlier what happened was I landed one-sided with one, I think it was the right-hand undercarriage first, and then I went completely skew, and then I had to bring it under correction. But we'll figure all those things out with this rudder. I've tweaked it a lot, guys, so should be better. We shall see when we land.
So is
Right.
that the response curve you played with, or something
Yeah.
a bit
Let
bit
me
more
show you.
simple?
No, it's the response curve. Let me show you. It's going to take 10 seconds to come up the screen, but I've got it there. So basically what I did, you'll see it come up if it doesn't come up yet. Basically what I did was I kept it like doing almost nothing, and then all of a sudden it starts, to do something almost at the end of the travel that I've got on the axis. And that seems to be the best place for me to keep control over it. But I'll fiddle with it a little while longer, just to make 100% sure and not to look like an ass when I land and I try and get the aircraft straight, but that's that embarrassing thing we were talking about. I can't fix it in one go. It's going to take a wee while to sort that nonsense out. So there's no ways I can be embarrassed about it, because it happens. New equipment, you need to get used to it. Right, so let's check. Everything is fine. Green lights all over the show. What's our wind like? 6 knot wind, not a problem. Right, display capture is off so we don't get the screen tearing. Let's get going.
Approaching 2-2.
Good grief.
What?
I don't
On runway 2-2.
What do you know what we do?
Makes you wonder, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm not straight. Alright, let's pull up. And toga.
How far has Uncle John got to go before he hits his magical, what, 39,000?
I think you said 3,000 points still left to do, maybe even less now. Not far, like a few days. Then he'll be a senior training captain.
He told me today, Thursday evening at the latest.
Okay. Oh, he's on a mission, eh?
Oh yes.
Or is he going to jump from VA to VA?
No. He only flies for Ryanair right now. We'll see. I don't think he will, but you never know. You know, maybe he wants to come and join Delta or Southwest or something. I don't know. We'll see. Me personally, I want to tell you something else. I'm waiting on jar design. Andrei Belov told me personally that they're working quite hard on the landing and the flare and the whole process there, that whole flight model. Once that's sorted, I'm gonna hit the VAs with those Airbuses like nobody's business. I mean, at this point in time, I can only fly the tallest. With the latest update, it kind of killed the idea for jar design for a while. They're gonna have to fix that. But once that's up and running, I mean, between Zibo and the jar design, I'm gonna hit the hours on all the VAs flying the Airbuses.
The transition between the planes must be quite difficult unless you swap between them often.
In the beginning it is, yeah, it's a totally different ball game. Even switching between Tollus, Airbus and Flight Factor, it's three different machines. You know, you've got to keep your wits about you, definitely. But it's not that difficult if you do it a lot of times. You know, like you say, frequently, then it's okay. But I don't do it that much. I mean, I almost exclusively only fly the Zibo. So, and for me, even to switch from the Zibo to the PMDG 738 is like, what a change. It's like, no. You got to do it a lot. I mean, for me to feel comfortable in the PMDG, I need to fly at least 5 flights, at least 5 times in a period of a week, just to feel comfortable in that aircraft again. It's just not the same. I keep on missing my tablet. I keep on missing so many things. It's like I'm out of my depth completely.
And does it handle much differently?
Yeah, somewhat. It's a totally different flight model. It's flyable, it's enjoyable. I don't have any issues with the flight model, but the modeling is different and the whole feel is different. And like I say, I mean, every now and then I find myself, I look here and then I go, oh shit, no, sorry, there's no tablet. It's just a stupid thing. But the muscle memory, you know, you build up muscle memory. I'm used to now looking at things and doing things. Once you're in the air in the PMDG, there's not much to do. You know, you just sit, now you wait. With this one, at least I can press a button on the tablet or look at the chart or do something. You know, anyway, their whole modeling is also different. I've tried to find a proper, what do you call it, PTA preset to actually give me definition on the buttons there, but currently in my setup, I've got to zoom in quite considerably and figure out which button it is that I need to press, because it's like they disappear in my background completely, and I think it's got to do with my shaders and stuff. I haven't figured that out, but I mean, I just don't fly it that often to really care about, you know, sorting out the display that much. You know, just something much of a muchness.
Yes, you can cope to use the setup you have, and you can put up with it. I'm currently still happy with one screen. I've got flaps and air brakes assigned to switches on my quadrant. I've not got round to printing out that You know, when you can assign the spare mixture and
Okay.
pitch to flaps and air brake. I've not got around to that yet, but I had a terrible experience coming into Manchester 2 nights ago where I was very short fine line. I hit toga and pulled the flaps off the plane and stuck it in the ground.
I think I read about that. I think you made mention of it somewhere. Even if it wasn't you, it was Phil. It was one of you two said something like that.
Just pressed the wrong button in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible.
there you go. Bang.
And if I had been bothered to set things up differently, then I wouldn't have done it.
Ach, it happens. It happens. As a matter of interest, I went back to the active sky clouds. So what you see here is all active sky clouds. And obviously I'm running the active sky weather engine. Because once we did the upgrade to 1135, those other clouds didn't want to play with me anymore. I'm not sure. It's probably the Lua scripts that needs an update. And I haven't checked for one yet.
I must confess I prefer these to the that alpha
Test, yeah.
cloud that you were using.
Yeah. I miss them strangely enough. Because I figured out what the best angles would be to look at them, or some of the best angles, you know, and then they've got very nice look and feel to it. But I'm happy with these clouds.
The layering was good.
Yes, I love the layering. That is one thing I definitely miss. But when Enrico fixes them, I'll go back. I mean, I grew up with them in X-Plane. I want them back. But for now, this is good enough.
I think the main problem with the clouds in that version was the fact that the human brain is trained to see patterns, and the clouds were repeated, and it just jumped out a little too much for me. But otherwise, fabulous. You know, can't complain about that.
So Paul, you noticed the Manchester day. Well, there's 2 flights of Nico's that I think they're awesome. The first one was when he had something happened and he had to do emergency landing in Tata on almost like nothing for a runway. And the other one was that flight where you did a go around, I think twice or 3 times coming into Edinburgh. Yeah.
No, that was that was hair raising. Yeah.
That's one of the most enjoyable things I've ever seen. It was brilliant.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
Well, it's great to see how people handle that, and it concentrates the activity of the stream into a very intense section.
Yeah, and I must confess, to have you guys there and to talk through it, and it worked for me. It really was cool. I loved it.
And Uncle John was he was chirping along the way there so much.
Yeah. Look at Didi. Damn it, look how close we are. I better start looking at setting this story up. I've just realized I've got the wrong approach set up here. We're looking for ILS runway 13. Right, so we need to change this chart and actually get the data on it. So we're looking at 132 on our course. Oh, look how nice and easy that was. Then we're looking at 110.3. There we go, so that's set up. We're looking at 200. Two 992 on the altimeter. That's interesting. There we go. Right, so we are all set up with that one. What is our altitude? We need to intercept the ILS is 17. There we go. Ah, good stuff. Short runway, so well, reasonably short anyway. So let's quickly do that. Let's look at the chart. 13. That is 2,289 meters, 7,510 feet. Run, boys, run. Those seatbelt signs are coming on very soon again.
Enough time to order one more drink.
I suppose. Sure, one day, many years ago, we flew to Durban. And the trolley dollies got to like the third row. And the lights came on, seatbelt lights, and the guy started to descend again. They waited obviously too long to start the serving, so only the first like 3-4 rows actually got service. I'll never forget that. That was so up down. You know how short that route is. It's like almost like this one. You literally have 5 minutes in the cruise, or 10 if you're lucky. And then subsequently I've flown it many times. We've always been able to get full service, no problem. But that one day really, it was just too much. Too quick. And the other thing with the Durban route is I've only flown it, I think, let's talk percentages, maybe 80% of the time you always get turbulence on that route. Going into Durban in that tropical area, damn it, those aircraft, they shake, eh?
I went down to Cape Town a little while back, and there was absolutely no visibility, and the guy was humming and hawing, we should dive it or not. I said, nah, forget it. Let's do a full auto land. And that was it. Just at the very last minute did you see the actual run.
I don't know if you follow Mohammed, what does he call himself?
Kuwait pilot.
No, that's not Mohammed, that's Usama. No man, ZSMK. He flies jump seat a lot, and he's got a nice channel where he shows you Mango. He flies with Mango a lot. I watched one of his videos the other day where they did exactly what you were talking about, runway 01 Cape Town, full auto land, the whole works.
And they even told everybody, they came on the PA and said, okay, fine, they're going to do a, they can't, they have to do, yeah, you're going to have to do a Cat 3, there's no way you can, you know, so it's landing by itself. Then you see the people start chirping.
Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine.
I'd like to welcome all nervous flyers. We're letting the machine do it itself. Thank you very much. The lavatories are at the front and the rear.
Yeah. It reminds me of a joke I saw a long time ago, many years ago, when they started talking about the automation, and the guy said, "This is your captain speaking. I am fully automated. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong." And the recording got stuck. So I mean, where's the confidence building in that? I'm glad I made some authors in this area.
It's looking great.
Yeah, not perfect, but it really makes such a big difference from the default.
Did you already do the VREF section of the
Yeah.
descent on the FMC?
Yeah, I was pressed for time, obviously, so there you can see it set up to 145 flaps 30. Why?
I was talking to John about it today, and he said something that didn't sound that familiar. You click on flaps 30, you do it twice. I think he
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
and then it's / +5 knots.
I don't know where the forward slash comes in. If you go there, all right.
That's why I was asking, because
Yeah.
that didn't sound familiar.
When
He seemed manually enter the +5.
no, that's his own story. Then all I do is I take that one, click it once, it goes bold. Click it a second time, it puts it into position. The other thing that's very important, except for in the US, is you need to make sure your transition level is put in there. Otherwise, you don't get your yellow warning on your primary flight display when you get to your transition level. That's the two things I do. Then what you do is, you see where it says the ref on the speed type. Sorry. Dry patch in my throat there. When you get on the speed type where it says ref, all you do is you put that speed bug just above it. That is VREF +5. I've actually said that on stream before. So you just go for roundabout somewhere there, just above it. And otherwise, you can obviously calculate it in your head. I mean, we can see it's 145, so we need to be at 150. That's the +5 that you need to put in there. He obviously puts now the +5 in there so that he sees it on the primary flight display, but that's not how it's done.
How did the 30 get entered in there? Because I'm looking at mine right now. I'm in my descent. I have my VREF set up, and mine's only saying reference 141. It doesn't have the flap specific.
I don't know. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything special. I go to initialization page. I double tap the 30 145, and there it goes. It puts it in there, and it's in there. I don't know why yours don't. Mine's
See, I enter I get reference from TopCat. So when I enter my own reference in there, it doesn't populate the flaps position. That's weird.
yeah, I don't know.
That's are you on 14?
14 what?
Version.
No, 15. I'm on 15.
Oh, it's
Zibo
at
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might be my problem.
I don't know. Have a look.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Cody, you don't double tap.
Yeah. If he puts it in manually, it won't. The other side of the coin, Cody, because you're taking it from an external source, it might not be what the Zibo is expecting, if I can put it that way. So the Zibo is expecting flaps 3145 because that's the VREF in its brain, that's what it shows you there. So let's, for argument's sake, say you've got flaps 30/146, then it doesn't compute to the same value, and that's why it doesn't see it as the right value, so it doesn't display it as the right value. I don't know, I'm guessing here. I'm really just guessing. So if you use the actual Zibo values, you might actually get it to show.
Yeah, so I just entered them, and I mean it was only one knot off.
Yeah.
And it's still not showing it.
Update when you land. Then let us know.
Sure.
It's holding profile very nicely, eh?
Oh yeah. Even Flight Deck to some commented on the holding of the profile the other day. Zibo's done an amazing job, eh?
You see, he had like 1,000 viewers. On Thursday.
It was freaking him out a little bit by the sound of his voice there at one stage. Oh, I can't believe it.
It must be frightening to know that there's 1,000 people watching you at one time.
Yeah, ask me. I get scared when I see 5 people watching me, and by the way, there are 5 people according to my viewer count right now, so I'll fake it till I make it, we'll pretend to be hotshot. I tell you what, it's daunting in actual fact to think that people are watching you doing this. I will have the best landings, get the best points, everything when I fly offline. Then I come and fly here and I wonder what the hell happened. And then I realize it's stage fright, it's part of it. It's just, it happens. Not always, thank God, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, no, I like Pilot Edge's training sector. That stuff is fantastic. You can't get that anywhere else.
No.
That's
I've downloaded a lot of that stuff, Cody. In the beginning, I don't know what has changed. I haven't been there in a few years now. But in the beginning, when they had those workshops and stuff, I downloaded those things. That's like 4 hours of video. I mean, that is priceless.
Yeah.
You cannot buy that. It's what you learn there is just crazy. That's priceless.
They've added I ratings and cat ratings. They do shuttle ratings as well.
Okay. The thing that I used to love to fly when I was still flying there was the mini route from Van Nuys over KLAX via Torrance to go to Catalina and back. That mini route just did it for me. That is, to this day, if I can get there in the real world, I'll stick you and I go fly that route. I just want to try it once.
Actually,
with that routing.
Nico, what I really appreciated is when you were doing some of the training,
Mhm.
some of those training courses in the beginning. That was really good because you spent a lot of time putting a lot of the packages together. I really
George, the plan is to go back there. I've always wanted to put together a proper route. I've spoken to some real world guys to actually help me, guys with actual 737 ratings. Because when I do it this time, I don't want it to be just a flight something. I want it to be proper. Not that the other one wasn't proper, but I wanted to have more. What's the right word? It must be. It must have more weight. I don't know how else to explain it. Sorry, my English isn't that good. But to say that a real world pilot was involved, I think will make a big difference. I mean, the whole selling point of flight activism is he's a real type rated pilot, and now we're losing the plot here, it seems. What's this aircraft doing? Let's get back on track. We'll take heading select now. Um, if you understand
yeah.
what I mean, you need to have the credibility to take it that step further. Not that I don't have and all those other things, but to have the real world influence. Look, if I don't get the real world guys to actually join me, I'm still gonna do it. I'm very well capable of doing it. It's just that I've always wanted that little bit of an edge, that angle.
Yeah, you wanted authenticity.
Yeah. Just that little bit more. But if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with it. I want to start a course from the beginning and work through the whole process, because it's not just about getting in the Zibo and flying the Zibo. Do you know how many people don't even know how to determine what runway is active? Stupid little things like that. Not knowing that an aircraft takes off and land into the wind. Stupid things like that. We want to give them the whole story. Then we need to talk about navigation. You've got two types of pilot. You've got the guys using the freeware stuff, like a little nav map, for instance, to do their flight planning. And then you've got the guys with the money or who's willing to spend the money, who got the Navigraph stuff. Then you've got the PFPX guys, then you've got the SimBrief guys. And each one, I need to spend time on each one of these elements to build a whole syllabus, a whole curriculum, whatever you want to call it. So I've got big plans for it, but I've been sick as a dog for like 6, 7 weeks already. Um, and then I got extra contracts in the business. So for the foreseeable future, I'm hoping December everything will be in place and I'll have time again. Um, I can't see myself really spending too much time doing things like that, which is a pity because I'm burning to do it, George. In all honesty, I really, really want to do a proper course.
Yeah, I mean, even some people can't even read charts properly, and
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
take the wrong information.
exactly. Hey, Liam, welcome to the stream, buddy. I really want to look at the chart situation. Even Uncle John asked me the other day to give him training on the RNAV approaches. I mean, guys don't understand how the RNAV works. I mean, twice I caught myself making silly mistakes doing RNAV approaches, and I mean, I've done hundreds in my life, if not thousands. Liam, the birthday was good, and this flight is also good now. I tell you what, I had good time with the wife. Spent quality time together. Was relaxed. Got a nice meal at the end of the day. Everybody's happy, so it was all in all a good day. And now I'm happy flying again. So I'm really, really happy that I could do another stream today. Yep, it was very good. Right, so I'm gonna start swinging around now. Let's see where we go to from here. That's good, Liam. I just do what I have to do, mate. If it calls for that, I'll do it. If it doesn't, I don't do it. Sorry, my son's getting excited again.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
So you were having to throw passengers out at your base in Italy to get off the short runway, I
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, it was too hot. The density altitude was too much. I mean, the physical temperature was like 30 degrees, and then they wanted to take off with full packs. Ain't gonna happen. So, no, it was too short. We had to dump quite a few packs and try again. But here in South Africa, in the real world, with Lanseria Airport, the ICAO is Foxtrot Alpha Lima Alpha FALA. They do it quite often. In actual fact, what they usually do is they dump the baggage. So you book in your baggage this side, but they take a bus. They take it, in a van or something. They take it to Joburg International. Then they fly it with a different flight down. So you have to then wait like an hour or so for your baggage to arrive after the fact. And the reason also is density altitude. Lanseria's got a short runway, and when it gets too hot, you're not taking off with packs and baggage together. Doesn't work.
So that's literally not enough oxygen in the air to mix with the fuel to provide enough thrust.
No, it's not so much the oxygen. The air is too thin. You just don't get enough lift.
5,500 feet.
Yeah. No, there's just not enough. You know what I don't understand? I don't know if it's that they don't own enough real estate or so, but when they redid that runway, I actually thought they were going to add another 1,000 meters or something on it, because I mean they were redoing the whole freaking runway. Why not just add? But they never did add that much, maybe a couple of meters, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah, they went from 06 to 07.
Yeah. I'm glad, Liam. I was looking in the background a little bit on your stream there. I watched some of it. I just didn't see the landing because I had something else to do. But I was looking a bit. Right, let's assume we've been cleared to approach. Some of these names of the players in these shooter games are just fantastic. My feet on these pedals. Get the throttles in place.
Taking its time to capture.
Yeah, we're flying very slow. Go, there we go, gear down, flaps 15. Flaps 30. Right, auto brake on 2, speed brake is armed, it's not deployed. Lights good, everything's fine, 3 greens on the landing light. Right, so my feet are now firmly on these rudders. Let's see if I can actually do a straight in landing. I'm gonna try not to look at the left screen for the landing rate. One of you guys can shout it out when you see it. And then I'll just see if I can land properly this time. Nice wind we have.
Oh, strange, I just lost your entire picture.
Control F5. Gusting 26. Okay, the wind is 170 at 13. Gusting 26, guys. Let's see. That's according to active skies. Let's see. I don't see it that much yet.
Stabilized, Mr. Burcham, sweet set.
Still on auto throttle there, I think, unless the I'm 10 seconds behind.
No, I've just switched it off as you were talking about it. So. See what I meant earlier? Look where that speed bug is. It's literally just above the reference, and that is your +5 that it's indicating there anyway, if it's in that position. So there's no point in adding 5 in the FMC.
Approaching minimums.
Yes.
200. Minimums. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. knots.
244.
Thank you.
2,000 feet remaining.
Well, it didn't go as skew as earlier, so I'm quite happy. Hey Pat, thanks for the subscription. Welcome to the family.
Did you feel any gusting there?
I did. No, I did. I had to fight the wind quite a bit. I didn't see it on the Indy that it displayed, but I could feel it. I could definitely feel it. I'm not sure, if it's how can I put it, like averaged out in the display or something, or whether it didn't, whether the aircraft didn't detect it the way that Active Sky actually depicted it. I'm not sure where the discrepancy would be, but I felt it. I knew there was wind, and the thing. Vertical, I tried to butter it. That was the best I could do right now. I'll have to practice more. Um, what was I gonna say? Shit. Oh
Tell me
yes.
about the weather.
No. Yeah. What I was going to say is, remember, I've got XP Realistic in here, so that's messing with my mind because it's not just a static screen in front of me. I mean, the whole thing moves in front of me, so my eyes have got to compensate for all the movement that it sees. I've got the weather that's got an influence on everything that I've got to continuously counter and all. Most of the guys that I've watched streaming don't have stuff like XP Realistic loaded that actually makes the cockpit move. Everything is just static. It's just a static thing in front of them. And when you have XP Realistic loaded, for instance, it messes with your mind when you see the actual cockpit move to simulate, the turbulence and the movement and the wind and whatever that goes with it. So I've made it a little bit more difficult for myself than most other streamers. XP Realistic is just the one thing that comes to mind right now that really, messes with you a bit.
I mean, does the real plane respond to gusts and display it live?
Yes. Yeah, mostly. Because it's obviously there. You also have your GPWS, which is supposed to report, on wind shear and, stuff like that. So it's pretty good. I don't think it's infallible, but it's pretty good. It's just the simulator for me just makes it difficult because I can't feel the movement. In a real aircraft, you feel the movement. It's like a car. You hear the engines, you feel the movement. Um, when you used to, well, I don't know how many of you guys drive stick shifts. Yeah, I mean, you listen to the engine and you know when to change the gear because you're listening to it. My volume here is very low because otherwise my wife freaks out. So I can't hear too much of that, but that's also irrelevant for the purpose of the discussion. I can't feel the movement. I can't feel the aircraft. So this is where XP Realistic now comes into, and it actually puts the movement in my eyes, and my brain has to compute them. And
Yes.
it makes it kind of slightly little bit more difficult than just having a static simulator that does nothing, It just sits there statically. We've got about that one. Let's put it on.
If you look at that windsock, just straight out there, you can actually see that there's quite a bit of.
Where's the windsock? I didn't even see it. Oh, there it is.
I was just thinking that it wouldn't be of much use to display digital knots when it was gusting. You wouldn't be looking at that readout anyway, would you? You'd be concentrated on the job in hand.
Yeah, you wouldn't look at it, but it would be nice to actually see it. Now, I can take you to some of my videos on my channel here where you can actually see the gust. You can actually see how the wind plays around, especially in Manchester. Go look at some of my Manchester flights. I mean, some of those flights were hectic to try and land there. And that was where I lost all my respect for the Flight Factor 820, where I stopped flying that thing completely because, and where the whole fight started with me and the guys behind the scenes, because it just didn't translate. You got all this massive turbulence and everything happening, and you don't feel it, you don't see it, it's just not there. I don't even want to go into that one. I'm just mentioning it to you. But that's, if you go to my Manchester videos for the Zibo, you can definitely see that movement there on that Indy is tremendous when it comes to the wind, how it's messing around and doing its thing.
Yeah, tricky landings.
Yeah. What did I not do? Why do I have a feeling I didn't do anything? Something I didn't do. Oh, yes. Knew there was something.
Nico, question.
Hmm.
I see that sometimes they say, it was said, I think it was Steve that said, when you switch autopilot off, you should recycle your flight directives. How do you feel?
Well, I haven't flown a real 7.3, so if that's how they do it, I suppose you have to do it that way. I don't see for our purposes that it's going to make any difference in the flight simulator world. It's also not as if you're going to quickly switch the autopilot back on after you purposefully switched it off. So I don't know. I don't know the story behind it. I watch him do it. I see him do it. He obviously has got some other SOP in the real world that says he has to do it. For me, it's irrelevant in the simulator.
Okay, I agree with you there in the simulator, but maybe in real world, it's say
It's a
something
thing.
about recycling the flight directives to reset them because take them out of the autopilot.
Yeah. George, they won't do it unless it's necessary, so. Yeah, Liam, I flew the Tallest the other day, 2 days or so ago. I am as impressed with the Tallest. I've got great respect for what the guys do there, but I've got zero respect for the Flight Factor A320. For me, that was a big trick that was played on the community, and I don't fly it unless somebody asks me to fly it. I don't even bother to start it up. Between the jar design and the Tallest, I'm quite happy with Airbus. You weren't here earlier, but I want to quickly mention it again. I did mention it earlier in the stream. I spoke to Andre Belov from Jar Design about the flaring and the landing. That's a bit difficult in the Jar Design model. Tell you what, I said to him was, if they can fix that, that will be the #1 simulation of the Airbus in X-Plane. I've said it publicly many times. He knows that's my standpoint on it. I'm only and solely and only just waiting for them to fix the landing portion of it. There's nothing wrong with the rest of that aircraft. If they can fix the landing, I promise you it's going to be a hard sell to get me to fly any other Airbus ever again. I'm thinking we're parking in the wrong spot, but it's close enough. And I'll just bring the jetway closer. Sorry, vertical. I didn't realize I have to go one that way. It seems that's more appropriate. Sorry. Turn this way, guy. Alright, so let's pull back on that. Let's get the parking brake set. We can connect. We'll connect you first. If I fly here more regularly, because this is like a every second week thing for me now. If I fly here more regularly, I'll obviously learn the intricate detail of the airport. But yeah, I think you're right. That's good enough for now. I'm happy. Let's see if this flight was actually booked and accepted. Submit the flight. Approved. Thank you so much. I enjoyed that. Man, that was lovely. That was lovely. Thank you so much.
Neat.
Yeah. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for flying with Southwest today. I'm thankful and grateful that you are here and enjoyed it with me, and that we could end the birthday flights for the day on this high note. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. If you don't see me again, I'm going to try my best to do one more flight at least tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the week on Twitch or next week on YouTube again.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Always learn something watching you. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. I don't know what you learned today. I feel like an amateur today, but I'm glad you learned something.
New saying, Nico.
Yeah.
Never underestimate yourself. It might be one small thing, and it might make a big difference to maybe one of us or to maybe all of us. But it might be just one small thing, and we always learn something. Believe me, we always learn something.
I'm glad, guys. I'm glad. That makes it so worthwhile for me. I'm gonna roll the credits, guys. Mohammed, nice seeing you on stream there. It's a pleasure, man. Thanks for watching. Liam, Vertical, whoever else is there, and then the guys on Discord, stick with me. I'm gonna stop the stream, but then we can chat another minute or two on Discord. Bye bye, guys.